Hey fellows and fellowettes, my name is Walter Lau. I am a pro pickleball player and coach. I play at the pro and 5.0 levels. CRBN is my paddle of choice, and it's 14 millimeter Carbon 1 is this new paddle that just came out. Nice and gritty and spicy for you. But some of the questions we've been receiving is, how do I weight my paddle? What do I do if I want to add extra weight, but I don't want to hurt my arm? So I'm here to go over a couple of things with you. First off, where you put your weight is important, because lots of people that come from tennis, which is what I come from, they like to make it really heavy, so it's just like a tennis racket. I would recommend for those players that want more depth and penetration with their ground strokes to put that head lead tape up top, because they're kind of more used to a heavier paddle and they don't really worry about the arm being kind of, I guess, hindered and pained a bit because of that weight. But there have been certain people that are like, oh, I have some discomfort in my arm, but I want some extra weight on my paddle. So that's where you put it on the sides and the throat. That'll give you some extra swing heft, but it also is a little bit easier on the arm, and you can still maintain that swing speed. So your hands are just as quick with the paddle turnover, but you actually have that extra heft for the counter attacks and for the shots that you want to put a little bit extra pop and power in. So now, after going over the weight placement onto your paddle, the things that you'll need to weight your paddle are the lead tape itself. So this is a golfer's lead tape that they use for clubs to weight a club head. But you could also get rolls of lead tape from a tennis shop or from a Dick's Sporting Goods, or even from online, like if you get a retailer online, even Amazon, and just have it shipped and mailed to your house. But it's the same kind of deal. So they give you different widths, but this one in particular is a 0.5 inch width lead tape. So every inch for this tape is equivalent to 1 gram. But when you're talking about paddles, they always weigh in ounces. So this right out the box, stock carbon paddle is usually 7.8 ounces. So 1 gram is equivalent to 0.35 ounces. And for those of you that don't want to do math, I won't bore you with the numbers here, but pretty much you need a weight to get that specific down by ounce. So you can cut your strips, and I have pre-cut strips here that I would have for the sake of time, but the paddle itself, as you can see, if you want to copy a different paddle that you have before or someone else's paddle, you can kind of see where it starts right there, and then it ends right about here. So that gives you that extra swing weight while also maintaining your arm, pretty much keeping it alive, right? You don't want to overweight your paddle and make your arm feel some extra pain. But then I put a little bit of weight right there, just to add that extra swing weight, but not too much, so just 1 strip. But I pre-cut 4 strips of 7-inch lead tape length. So I'm gonna copy what I did with this paddle, or like you can do with any paddle. Then you put it right about there, and just lay it flush. You want to keep it flush because you don't want it protruding out once you put that extra lead tape on. Actually, before I continue, let me just reiterate, there's a little tip that you can do. You can either lay it directly onto the edge guard, which I started to do right there, but the stickiness of this lead tape is actually pretty sticky and it gets kind of messy. So I would actually use electrical tape, because electrical tape is a little bit more pliable and it's not as sticky, easily removable. And I pre-cut this one, but you could actually put this as layer 1 on your paddle edge guard. So that is the preliminary layer that you're using as like a foundation. So you lay it around the edge of the edge guard, right up top. As you can see, it's laying right flush onto there really easily because it's a really thin layer of tape. Some people like to use this as their protection tape for their edge guard, but how thin it is protects it a little bit, but there are other types of tape out there, which I'll go over later, that can give it a little bit more protection. So you see that first layer went on really easily, very pliable, very moldable. Then you put your lead tape on. So you can do that by, like I was doing earlier, just measuring it up against another paddle that you want to emulate, or just wherever you want based off of personal preference. But there you go, you got a personalized side weighted down. Then you take your next strip. Like I said, I cut 4 equal 7-inch strips based off of the weight that I wanted, because I wanted my paddle to be right about close to the 10-inch or the 10 ounce weight range, between 9.5 to 10. There you go, second. So you laid that right on top of the initial piece of lead tape. Then you bounce that on the other side. So, like I said, put up against that paddle, make it even with that paddle's where that started, which was right there. Then make sure it's nice and flush. Then you take your fourth and final piece and stack that up top. Stacks on stacks right there. So you got the double layer going. So double and double. See how it's kind of slightly off there with as far as the, you know, the sides. You can always readjust it because it's on this nice electrical tape that's easily dealt with and removed. So that texture, that material makes it easy to kind of redo your placement of where the lead tape is. Then this last piece, that little extra piece that I was telling you about, they gave me a little bit of head weight, swing speed up top, trying to even it out to make it right in the center there. Then the last step is to take your, so this is the tape I'm telling you that is good for the final layer. I usually use a cloth type tape because the cloth is a little bit thicker. But as you can see, you can pick whatever color you want. This just happens to be my trademark color of choice, Volt Green right here. As you can see with my logo, my tape, my grip, my everything. So personalize it to however you'd like, folks, but this is my cloth tape of choice. Doesn't have to be cloth either, this is just my preference, but you can go with whatever tape you want up top to suit your needs. But pretty much the purpose of it is just to serve as a protection for your edge guard and a final layer that covers up your lead tape so that it's nice and flush and smooth. So there you go. Then you just, you know, close up those sides, make it even and flush. Then for the last and final optional step, if you want to match that grip and grab a nice matching over grip for this bad boy, you then put the over grip last. And this is just a speed application of the over grip. You can take however long you need. As you can see, I've done a lot of these, so I can just go right through it. But make sure it's nice and evenly spread so that you have that extra, those ridges. If you keep it at the same like distance between the ridges of your initial grip, it'll add that extra ridge. So if you can see, those ridges are evenly spaced, and they also give me some extra bump and like guidance for when I put my fingers there. But yeah, so you just continue that over grip, keep it flush, apply pressure evenly, and then you finish that off with the tape that comes with that over grip. And you wrap it around, you keep it nice and taut. And the bonus step is, if you want it nice and extra spicy and stylish for you, you grab one of these My Paddle bands. That's the logo for it. You can customize it and actually put your name on it so that you don't mix them up with other people that have nice spicy paddles. You got the logo right there. See, Walter Lau Pickleball. And you can put whatever color you want with whatever font color you want. Then you put that in between, gripping it with the thighs, center that logo to your liking. Bada bing, bada boom. This is Walter Lau, pro pickleball player and coach, confidant for your over grip and weighting of paddle needs. Signing off. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.